is the TurboTax Live Halftime.
The wild card playoffs are off and running. The Texans head coach Bill O'Brien preached to his team this week. This is the playoffs. You can't just dip your toe in the water. You have to be aggressive to stop Hilton, stop Ebron, stop Luck. Here was Steve Young and Louis Riddick. That was clearly not the case early on. So, Louis, what were the Colts doing so well?
Well, first and foremost, look, we talked about it pregame. They needed to protect the passer. They protected Andrew Luck. And then from there, everything else just kind of started rolling as far as the passing game and the running game. We knew that T.Y. Hilton was going to be a focal point. Here you see him at number 3 in the slot. You know they had to reroute him. They tried to get a bump on him, but then against this zone coverage, they get him matched up one-on-one right down the seam against cover 2 on the linebacker, and Andrew just lays a perfect ball in there with perfect protection. Here down inside the 10-yard line, it's man-to-man coverage. What are they going to do? They're going to run a little bit of a rub route, a little pick situation here, and really they get Ebron open to the flat here, and Tyrann Mathieu can't get to him. And then the run game was going to, and look, just watch Quentin Nelson here. Watch these guys go to work as far as at the point of attack. You're just going to see Texans bodies with their feet up in the air on the ground because people are just getting mowed down. This is a football team that's right now getting beaten from a physical standpoint, that being the Texans. And look, everything that Chris Ballard tried to do as far as how he built this football team from a physical perspective, it's all working.
You know what? This is a clinic. This is Sean Payton and Drew Brees. This is a play caller that is pressure testing every part of a defense, sideline to sideline, deep, short. Every play has a reason, and then you've got the ultra guy that orchestrated to do it. Every time he runs a play, you need to get the most out of it. Andrew Luck is back. He is healthy. He looks like an all-pro, Hall of Fame kind of player. And with this combination with this coach, this is a love affair that is burgeoning. And to me, this is not about Houston, Texas. We can talk about what's wrong. This is about how good this team is. So the offense, defense, to me, it's very exciting to see where the Colts are. Nobody wants to play the Colts right now.
Yeah, and Deshaun Watson didn't come in with any false expectation. The NFL playoffs, he knows it's going to be the hardest thing he ever did. But looking ahead to the second half, what can he do to get on track?
You know, one of the things about this Colts defense, they are efficient and disciplined. And you do not get them out of space. You've got to stop throwing the Hail Marys. You're going to have to respond with efficiency and discipline. If it's going to go anywhere in the second half, it can't be just trying to make it all up at one play. Go ahead and just get into some long drives, and Deshaun Watson needs to be, 22 of 24 in the second half.
You said it. Luck, pain-free. He must have used the word fun a dozen times when we talked to him. This is what fun looks like. 1,000 passing yards against the Texans this season. Only 3 quarterbacks have ever done that in a single season against the same team. One of them is standing right here. All right, when we come back, we turn from playoffs to the national championship game. It's Bama, it's Clemson for round 4. We've got a preview from Santa Clara on the other side.
This halftime is presented by TurboTax Live with CPAs on demand. This halftime is presented by TurboTax Live with CPAs on demand.
Monday on ESPN is the College Football Playoff National Championship game presented by AT&T at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California. It's the Tide and Tigers round 4. Number 1 Alabama takes on number 2 Clemson. Reese Davis leads our coverage from Santa Clara.
Well, thank you, Susie. It's wet and windy at the home of the 49ers. Dodgy forecast expected Monday when we have Alabama and Clemson round 4 for the national championship. Tremendous star power in this game, Kirk, beginning with the 2 quarterbacks, Trevor Lawrence and Tua Tagovailoa. NFL's going to have to wait for a while on those guys, and they're new to this matchup. Let's start with Tua, who Oklahoma, they tried to pressure him every time they blitzed him. Every time he completed the pass and threw 4 touchdowns against the blitz.
Yeah, I mean, from watching Tua from last year's national championship in the second half, and he was able to bring Alabama back to all the way through this year, Alabama's done a very good job of having a balanced attack. He's a distributor. Reminds me a lot of like a Russell Wilson when you go back and look not only at Russell and his career now at Seattle, but even back at Wisconsin. Similar dimensions as far as their height, their weight. The accuracy is uncanny. His ability to look down into the coverage coverage and make throws. Look at this throw right here. That's really good coverage, but because of the accuracy, it gave his receiver a chance to make a play. And if you don't get pressure on him and you don't slow him down, you just don't have a chance of slowing down this Alabama offense. So we got that big, talented Clemson defensive line. They better have a big night.
We'll see if the big, talented Alabama defensive line can affect Trevor Lawrence. Notre Dame had some success blitzing the young guy, but he just has not looked like a freshman at all. Should be a great showcase for these two young quarterbacks and the stars around them. Bama and Clemson Monday, 8 o'clock Eastern time from here at Levi's Stadium. Susie?
Okay, Chris, we're looking forward to it. Back here, Texans, Colts played close in the regular season. Different ball game today. Dontrell Inman put the Colts up 21, but it's been all about comebacks. Stay tuned.
You're watching the TurboTax Live Halftime.
For the first time ever.
Buckle up, Buttercup, because ain't nobody knowing what's really going down tonight.
The NFL Draft will have both a primetime show on ESPN with in-depth analysis of every pick.
They got to get this right.
And another on ABC, celebrating the event as only College Game Day can.
Guy's a game changer, in my opinion.
Welcome, football fans, to the NFL Draft. Are you ready?
The NFL Draft begins April 25th on ESPN, ABC, and the NFL.
Showtime.
Sensational.
He does it all, man.
The NFL's best face off over 5 exciting events at the Pro Bowl Skills Showdown. Thursday, January 24th at 9 Eastern on ESPN. And don't miss the Pro Bowl.
How about that?
This guy is incredible.
Sunday, January 27th, it's AFC versus NFC in the Pro Bowl. Coverage begins at 3 Eastern on ESPN and ABC. The time is now. For the best to separate from the rest and rise above all others to be crowned as champions. Super Bowl 53, February 3rd on CBS and in Spanish on ESPN Deportes.
This broadcast is copyrighted by NFL Productions for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this broadcast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the consent of NFL Productions is prohibited.